Hey everyone, this is Daryl, aka The D from the Simply Incredible podcast, and tonight I'll be reviewing UFC. What do you got? Fox Sports 1 Fight Night Hunt versus Mir. And I'll tell you what, it was some really good fights on this card. Some of these people I've never actually heard of, but really good fights. And I'll just be doing the main card like I normally do. Um, we start out in the women's strawweight. We had Becky Rawlings, also known as Rowdy Becky Rawlings. Now we have another Rowdy. We can't have but one Rowdy. You get your own nickname. Against Sohee Ham. Sohee Ham. That's a fun name to say. Sohee Ham. But it was a good fight. Both of them. It was one of those fights that basically stand up for the most part. A little bit of grappling involved. A couple of submission attempts, but and to be honest, it was one of those fights that was so tight. I could have seen 2 rounds to 1 either way, but the judges gave it like some was it all three of them? I think two of them had it 30-27, which I was surprised, but Rawlings got the unanimous decision. And for me, I thought it was probably 2 rounds to 1 Rawlings, but I could have seen 2 rounds to 1 for Sohee as well. It's one of those things. Judges will be judges. You never know what you're going to get if it goes to the end. But sometimes you can't put the other person away, and that's why I've always said, you know what, you go in there and do the best you can, and what happens happens. The next fight we had in the light heavyweight divisions, we had James Tahuna versus Steve Bossy. Bossy with the first round TKO, former hockey player, and I'd never heard of him before as far as hockey goes, but they said he was a tough guy, and he showed it in this. Well, I mean, just a straight right hand right on the chin, and it was over. Tahuna was over. It was a quick fight. Can't remember how long it was. Wow, that's sad. But it wasn't a very long fight either. I want to say it was within the first 2 minutes of the fight, maybe first minute of the fight. It was quick. I mean, just one punch, and it was a powerful punch too, right on the button. So that was wow. That's what that was. That was wow. Um, he's already calling for more and bigger things, which you should. You should want more and bigger things, but um, you know, give it time. We'll see where he sorts out. He doesn't look like the kind of guy that's going to be the world champion sometimes, but he's the kind of guy that can definitely thrill some people with some knockout power. And next we had the middleweights. We had Daniel Kelly versus Antonio Carlos Jr. And his actual last name is Jr., not his same name as his dad. I thought that was kind of interesting. Daniel Kelly got a third round KO. Was it KO? I think it was a KO. It was a really good fight, very entertaining fight, back and forth, forth and back. It wasn't. It was a it was a KO. Yeah, that's right. I'd forgotten if his was the rear naked or the next fight. The next fight was the one with the rear naked choke in it to finish it. It was a really good fight, back and forth in the first 2 rounds, and it turned around, and Daniel Kelly with the win. There was some good stuff in that fight as well. And this fight was, what I should have said this beginning. This was from Brisbane, Australia. So I wonder what time it was there when it was 10 o'clock here. I would like to know. I really should have looked that up, but I didn't. Next, we had in the lightweight division, Jake Matthews versus Johnny Case. Really good stuff in this one. I mean, both guys, had a lot of good stuff. Matthews, in the second round, really started taking control, throwing some really good leg kicks to the stomach area, and really hurt Case. Case had done some good stuff earlier in the fight, and from that middle toward the early to middle second round on, it was pretty much all Matthews. Matthews took him down in the third round after some more good stuff, good punishment, another leg kick, another kick to the stomach as well, and got him down. Got the rear naked choke on, lost it, kept working, got it again, and with 19 seconds to go, got the tap out. And it was really good stuff. I really enjoyed this fight. This actually may have been my favorite fight of the night, actually. It was really good. You know what? Probably not. Now that I think about the next fight, probably was. Because the next fight, Um, Hector Lombard against Neil Magny. And this fight should have been stopped on multiple occasions. In the first round, Lombard caught him with a big punch, took him down, and was just wailing on him. And Magny was struggling to do anything. He couldn't even get up. He was just getting pounded. And I thought the fight was going to get stopped there, and it kept going and going. And Lombard is one of those guys, I've said this before. If you watch my videos, you'll hear me say this. Some of those big guys, big, huge, muscular guys, if it goes very long to the second and third round, they are going to gas just because of just how muscular they are and how much oxygen it takes to keep those muscles going. And he wore himself out punching Magny. About midway through that first round, and the fight had kept going, which, like I said at the beginning, I really didn't think it should keep going. He wasn't, you know what, I guess it should have been because Magny wasn't severely hurt, but he looked like he was definitely hurt. And he got up and kind of got his wits about him and started taking control, probably at about the 3.5 to 4 minute mark in the round. So it had a little bit of time left and he'd start really moving. And it should have been a 10-8 round, but by the time the round was over, it should have been a 10-9 round for Lombard. The second round, Magny started taking control of it. Lombard wasn't moving hardly at all at this point. He was gassed. And, you know, again, muscles like that takes a lot of energy. And, you know, he was still throwing some bombs on him and stuff, but Magny definitely took the second round. And at the end of the second round, in my opinion, again, it should have ended. Magny was on top of Lombard. Lombard was face down and just literally got hit. I think I stopped counting at 80 punches. I mean, literally 80 punches, just, you know, back and forth. And Lombard was face down and just getting wailed on side to side. Just punch, 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 turn his face, hit some on this side, hit some on this side, and the ref just sitting there staring at him. And at one point, Magny just kind of looked at him like, "Really? Are you serious? You want to keep letting me hit him like this?" So he kept hitting me. I mean, I know it was at least 80 punches because I was counting them. I was like, "This is insane." And at the end of the round, Magny guy was like, "Are you kidding me? They didn't stop that? Are you serious? What do you got to do?" And in the third round, Magny, you know, he finished it in the third round. I think he got hit with one good shot in that third round. Got up, you know, threw some more punches, got it back to the ground, ground and pound, finished it. And the ref stopped it this time in the third round. It definitely should have been stopped in the second. Maybe even should have been stopped in the first. On the other side for Lombard. So, you know, it was interesting. But Magny got the third round TKO. It's a good fight. It's one of those fights that you go, stop the fight. Oh, wait. No, don't stop it yet. And then next round, stop the fight. Oh, yeah, y'all really should have stopped the fight that time. But anyway, in the headline match of the night, Mark Hunt against Frank Mir. And I'm a big fan of Frank Mir. Been a fan of his for a long, long time. There for a while, he had a really huge chip on his shoulder. Then he had that motorcycle wreck. And really, for me, I really think it not only changed his career, but kind of changed the course of the heavyweight division. He was a guy, really one of the first guys I remember seeing that was a really big heavyweight, but could also grapple like a much smaller guy. I mean, his submissions were amazing. I mean, I remember him submitting Tank Abbott. He had a omoplata and also an ankle lock on him at the same time. It was an amazing finish. I remember him tapping out Brock Lesnar in their first match. Second match, Brock come back and beat him up pretty good. But, you know, Mir's just been around for a really long time. Another thing about Mir, great on the mic. He should really, I would love to hear him commentating more. Really, really good commentator. I would love to see that. But Mark Hunt knocked him out in the first round. And one of my friends said they thought it was a quick stoppage. At first, I agreed. And then I saw Emir, you know, he was gone. He was in kind of in La La Land. It was one of those things that he kind of had that look of like, if you know, for me it's like if you're not the ref, you can't really see into their eyes. See if their eyes are kind of glazed over, rolled back and stuff. And Mark Hunt, he hit him with that. It was a right. Caught him with a right, and Hunt after he hit him, he went over like he was going to hit him again. Stopped because he's like, yeah, he's done. He's done. And the ref come in and called it off right away. But all in all, good stuff. Good good card in Brisbane, Michael Brisbane, in Brisbane, in Brisbane. The next big UFC, and this is going to be a huge card. I mean, you always got to think about injuries because you know when these guys are training, the men and women, not just men, the men and women, when they're training for these things, you know, injuries happen. But if the card stays as it is, wow, just wow. The top three fights on here. Cormier versus Jones too. I mean, John Jones is coming back. He wants his title back. Daniel Cormier. There's been a lot of bad blood between these two guys for a long, long time, and that should be a really good fight. Then you have Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson against Kajudo. Man, Mighty Mouse. He to me, if he could be the face of the company. He is so good. Now that I've said that, I probably just jinxed him, and he's probably going to lose. I hope not, because I really like Mighty Mouse. I think this guy is so fast and so skilled. Just an amazing fighter. And then one more fight on the third fight on there is going to be Anthony Pettis against Edson Barbosa. Man, that's going to be another great fight. I mean, to me, the top of this card is amazing. So I'm really excited about this event. So, and that is on, what day is it? April 23rd? Yep. April 23rd, UFC 193. Listen to me, 197. UFC 197 on April 23rd. But good night of fights. If you didn't get to see it, you should have. It was a really good card. But that's all we got tonight, and looking forward to the next. We got next fight night coming up. I'm sure there's one next week or the week after. It's just about weekly, so we'll see what we can find coming up. And that's all I got for tonight. You guys have an incredible night.